how can women inspire men to go from casually dating her to moving towards that committed or exclusive relationship? I know that women and men, we've talked about this before, often have differing timelines, as in we have one, and men often aren't really even thinking about one.
I love that you asked that. Yes, I have a whole program called The Art of Getting the Commitment You Want. And it's just about exactly what you said. I call it your relationship roadmap, where sometimes we can be way ahead of a man trying to like pull him and catch him up to where we are on our relationship roadmap, where he's like way over, mile marker 1, so to speak, right? So I always say it's important to be one step behind the man, right? Where he's the one moving things forward and basically trying to get you to commit to him. It makes things so much easier. If you're at a place where you're trying to like get a guy to commit to you, you've already kind of lost that game. Not that it's a game, but you want to be one step behind the guy. So one way to do that is not get overly invested in any man until you know for sure that you're on the same page in terms of what you want. I can't tell you how many women I hear from who are like exclusively involved. They're so committed to a man in their mind where they've never even had that conversation. He's never asked her to take her online profile down, or he's never really asked her to be exclusive, but she's so committed to him because she feels, deeply bonded to him, or whatever the case may be. And that's when she's just setting herself up for heartbreak unless he's definitely on that same page with her. Have you seen that as well?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just, for a moment, wanted everybody to sort of sit in the present moment and think back to a moment when you had that kind of energy where you were moving forward to ask for a declaration or ask for a clarification, where you were the initiator. And how did that feel?
Oh,
how did that feel in your body? I just feel stressed myself. And then I'm thinking when you said, oh, I'm envisioning here I am, and a man is saying, when we're at dinner or holding hands or cuddling on the couch, would you mind taking down your profile? Oh, doesn't that feel yummy? Just that energetic difference is so beautiful.
I love that you said that. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. There's no way on earth it's going to feel good to you trying to get a guy to commit to you. It's completely backwards to the way I feel that we're naturally set up in a heterosexual relationship, at least, where, it's just so much easier when the man's moving things along. You can kind of shine a light as to what you want, and he's taking you down that path, right? Rather than the other way around.
I love that. So that we are, and what do we do to calm ourselves further if we feel like we're getting to that point of like, oh, I'm about to pass him on the road?
Yeah, great
we're just trying not to.
Yeah, I love it. That's such a great question. Well, and of course, this is where getting coaching can help tremendously. Every situation is so different, but in general, a lot of times I say you can't really tell what a guy is going to do until after about 3 months in, right? Because they might be all caught up. And when we first get together with someone, there's all this like dopamine and norepinephrine and serotonin, and for us oxytocin, which makes us feel very intensely. And men tend to feel very intensely in short bursts. So he might be saying all kinds of things at the beginning, like, I want us to be together and all this stuff. And then after a few months, when all of those good feeling, neurotransmitters kind of get washed away, that's when you can see him kind of start to back off. So that's when I say a man means those things when he says them. It's not like he's lying to you usually, right? He means it, but I wouldn't place a whole lot of meaning on that until he's showing you with his actions that he's really consistent and he wants to move things forward. And I wouldn't get overly invested in a man until a few months have gone by and he's still there following through, showing you with his actions, not just his words, that he's really serious about you and that he's escalating his efforts, so to speak. I would not get overly invested until those things are all happening.
So when a man may, in the first couple weeks, ask for exclusivity, that may be a nod to where he's caught up in the moment. And if you're not feeling ready, it's perfectly okay to recognize and honor we're both feeling intense feelings. This is not something we felt before or in a long time. And you can make the choice as the woman to say, however, I feel like I need to know you better before I make that commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Say like, wow, it feels incredible that you're asking to be exclusive. That, that would feel really good to me. And I'm really looking forward to that, after getting to know each other better. And for me, I really feel more comfortable taking things slowly, getting to know each other before making such a big decision like that. And I'm happy to keep dating you and getting to know you as we work towards that. That is very attractive because you're not putting a wall up and shutting him down and saying, why would you ask me so early? Like, you're not doing that. You're acknowledging that you're giving him something he could get later. I call that planting like a future seed in his mind, which is super attractive, right? Like, you're not
Yes.
going to be so easily won over just because after a couple weeks the guy wants you to stop dating other men. And of course, this has to be authentic, as with all of my other tools and techniques. It has to be 100% authentic.
Mm.
So yeah, letting him know that would feel incredible, and I'm really looking forward to that. And for me, it feels better to really get to know someone for, insert a time frame if you'd like there, before jumping into a serious relationship.
Yes, and I think that actually unfolds into my next question about how women can maintain healthy boundaries, because in that sort of situation, a woman doesn't want to speak inauthentically and say, yes, let's be exclusive, because they're worried about losing him.
Right.
In fact, it's better to say what's true for you and see if he shows up or doesn't, because then you're not wasting 6, 8 months, a year of your time with somebody who's really overly worried all the time, or wanted to cling early and wanted some, not for the right reasons, not that abundance reason.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love everything you said. So, yeah, I call this keeping your boundaries on the inside, right? If you really trust yourself and trust your boundaries on the inside, that's what allows you to be totally soft, open, warm, and feminine on the outside so that a man can actually get close to you, right? In
Yeah.
the experiences of working with hundreds of women, over the last 5 or so years, men who are really for her, who are truly interested when she says something like that she likes to take her time, that makes her so attractive. Like, with the right guy, he is in. He's like, okay, great. Let me show you I'm serious. Let me kind of win her over in a sense, which every man kind of has this dream of, like, winning over his dream girl and hoping she says yes, right? They don't dream about ending up with some woman who's pining and strategizing and trying to lock him down into a relationship. You can feel the difference there, right?
Yeah.
So the right guy would be thrilled, like, okay, fantastic, let's get to know each other better. That will cause him to want to show her that he's serious and want to escalate his efforts as time goes on.
Yeah.
Rather than if he just knows he has her and she's going to wait around forever, there's no reason for him to make a decision or to take things to the next level, right?
Yes, and I think it's good to say too that it's a way to honor and recognize that there's an intense and amazing feeling between them that's unique and special, and not something that comes along all the time. And that I don't know, there's this beauty in that honesty that allows you then to say in a vulnerable way, and I'm so excited to explore getting to know you. That just makes me feel so good. And then that's a moment for you to bond, even with saying your truth, that you might have a momentary worry about offending him. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the point of doing this is not to get some reaction from him. It's very important. If you're doing something, this is a common kind of like mistake I see when people are new to this material. They're going to do this to try to get this result from a man. It's a very masculine energy way of coming about it. So the point of expressing your boundaries and expressing your feelings and anything, expressing your truth, is not to make a guy do something or affect him in some way. It's basically to see what he does with that information, right? Does he honor your boundaries? Does he want to meet your needs and make you happy? Or does he get angry and shut down and pull away? I would say if you express yourself express your boundaries in a feminine energy, authentic way, and a man doesn't want to honor that, that's really good information for you to have. It's good information for you to have early, because he just can't possibly be a good relationship partner to you if he doesn't take your feelings and your needs and boundaries into account, right?
Absolutely. And I think for all the powerhouse women out here, I think of when you are in your boardroom and you're making decisions, you have to have support information to validate what's the decision going on. But when you set into that feminine, your feelings are valid just for you having them. It's an incredibly different shift to then realize it's about expressing and being authentic with those feelings with the person you're with, and that we are to be authentic rather than worry about what the response is. And it's such a shift. And I know so many women who have had a hard time letting go of what the response will be. But once they do, there's so much freedom, there's so much space in their hearts, and they're more genuine because they're feeling that confidence of just being, right?
Absolutely. Wow. I love everything you said. Yeah, it's coming. Being in your feminine energy is the most empowering place you can come from. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misconceptions out there that it means just kind of being a doormat and waiting around for a guy and letting him kind of come and go as he pleases. And it really could not be further from the truth. It's like holding that space for what you want and not settling until somebody comes in and fills that space, right? So I love everything you said. Yeah, you want to see what a guy does with that information. Does he take your feelings into account or not, right? And if he doesn't, you don't want to like compromise yourself or collapse your boundaries in order to just be with this one guy. I mean, that's just a recipe for heartbreak, right?
Absolutely. And there are so many amazing men out there that if you aren't on a date with one that's fitting some of your most important, whether they be your boundaries or what your needs and desires are, or your life and love vision, that it's okay to make space for someone else. And it can be very nerve-wracking, of course, but that abundance perspective really allows us to be honest and genuine and listen and watch for the, like you said, the actions to back up the words and the consistency of the actions, because that's what's going to show you who's going to show up for the decades in your future, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, if you are hanging on to a man, tolerating bad behavior or anything that doesn't feel good to you because you're afraid of losing him if you don't, a man can feel that. Nothing decreases your value in his eyes or his attraction for you or respect for you faster than a woman who's just tolerating bad treatment or becoming overly invested when he's nowhere near committing or investing in her. There's just no way that's ever going to feel good to you on any level. So you don't want to be centered around this fear of losing a man. That's coming from a place of scarcity or lack, like maybe I'll never feel this way about someone again, or maybe there's nobody better out there for me. You want to come from, just like you said, a place of abundance where you know for sure that the right guy would just be thrilled to be with you and want to meet your needs and honor you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love all the tips and tools that you've offered for us today. I know you have another tool and tip that's a free gift that you're offering everyone too. Would you like to tell everyone what it is?
Sure. Yeah. So that's my 3 keys to attract the man you want. It's a PDF report and audio training, and it's about really kind of going deep into some of these drives and subconscious processes that may have caused you to push men away, and to reverse this whole thing. So you can bring that man close, whether you're single and looking to attract a really high quality man, or if you're with a guy now and you want to really bring him closer and inspire his love and devotion and commitment. So that's on my website, helenahartcoaching.com.
I love it. And we'll have the link for it directly below this video for everybody. So thank you so much, Helena, for being with us and for sharing all your tips. I am super excited for us to go give them a spin out there in the real world, and go ahead and get your free gift and get educated a little bit more and have some fun.
Yes, thank you so much. This was so much fun. We're very aligned. It sounds like there's a lot of like commonalities between our perspectives, which I totally love. So this was fantastic. Thank you so much, and I hope this was really helpful for everybody watching.
Thank you for joining us.